When did you realize you were gay, and how was the process of that?
I was gay senior year of high school.
Well, I did realize I was very different back when I was younger.
I realized I was bisexual around 8th grade.
8th grade.
Probably 11th grade.
When did you realize you were straight?
It's a good question. I don't think I've actually ever thought of it.
It is safe to say that the LGBT community has made some tremendous progress in the last 10 years. More people are coming out, and more people are supporting the community. Through television, music, or just the media in general, the LGBT community is not seen as deviant as it once was.
I'm just trying to see you.
There was a time when the LGBT community was spoken of like this.
10% of the total population are homosexual.
It's not contagious. You are or are not a homosexual.
We do not employ homosexuals. If we discover homosexuals,
homosexuals has triggered an epidemic, a rare form of cancer.
Federal guidelines ask homosexual men not to give blood.
We have even gone from a president that would say something like this.
It's none of my business what somebody's. Now, when somebody makes it my business, like on gay marriage, I'm going to stand up and say I don't support gay marriage.
To having a president that says something like this.
It is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
When it comes to the LGBT community and politics, it is safe to say that there has been a complete turn on how it is viewed.
The recent Republican presidential debate, there was a genuinely encouraging sign because the subject of gay marriage came up and presidential candidate John Kasich responded like this.
Guess what? I just went to a wedding of a friend of mine who happens to be gay. Because somebody doesn't think the way I do, doesn't mean that I can't care about them or I can't love them.
Wow, a gay wedding just got applause at a Republican debate. Add that to the list of things that would have been unthinkable in 2004, like the phrase Academy Award winner Matthew McConaughey. People would have said you were insane.
But you can't say that the turn was a complete 100% turn.
The Supreme Court rewrote the Constitution and threw out the marriage laws of all 50 states.
2015 was a big year for the LGBT community when gay marriage was legalized in all 50 states in the United States. For the community, it meant that the government was giving them equal rights, because that is simply what the community wanted, was equality. It was pretty obvious that not everyone was going to support the Supreme Court's decision of gay marriage, which proves that the LGBT community is not seen as a social norm. Many people in the year 2016 still believe that it's not normal for two people of the same sex to be together. I sat down with a few close friends of mine and asked them a few questions in regards on the LGBT community not being a complete social norm, and for some, what is it like to be part of a community that society doesn't view as normal?
Which one's...
She's black, I'm white. There we go. We are an interracial couple.
Intergacial.
Oh my god, that's definitely going in. Emily and Ty are co-workers of mine, but now they have become my close friends. They have been together for over a year now, and they were nice enough to sit down and chat with me on what it's like to be part of the LGBT community.
It was weird because I grew up in a Christian home. I went to a Christian school, like church every Sunday. So I had a hard time processing it just because there was no one I could talk it out with. Like, it was all just me by myself. Mm-hmm. And so I think my thought process was like, I can't tell anyone because my family will disown me and I won't be able to go to school. I won't be able to, I won't have a place to live, all those kinds of things, because those are the horror stories that you would hear when I was in 8th grade many a year ago.
I was raised up in a strict Baptist Christian household. So again, like Ty had said, I am not able to tell anyone. I had to keep it secret. I may have told one person, but they were also gay, so I couldn't do anything.
The next person I spoke with was one of my best friends, Kayla, who is a senior at NC State. She's one of my best friends, and we've known each other for about 7 years now. And I knew she'd be a great person to speak with about the LGBT community and being part of a community that's not viewed in society as a norm.
I think I was cool with it. I was like, okay, well, this is cool. I'm not this is cool, but I was like, okay. I was kind of worried about what like some of my family members would think, or say. So I didn't say anything for them for a while. But like I knew my siblings and all of them, they wouldn't care. But it was more like an internal process to be like, okay, I gotta accept the fact. And I was like, things in my younger life kind of make sense now.
Putting the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, putting the puzzle pieces together. I was nervous when I got to college. It was more of like it is what it is. And if you like me, you like me. And if you don't, you don't. Kind of thing.
I knew it would be a good idea to speak to someone who is a stray ally to the LGBT community. So I spoke with one of my best friends, Baylin, who is also a student at Guilford and has grown up in a very strict religious conservative household. So I figured she would have some good input to talk about how the LGBT community is not seen as a social norm.
I have grown up in a very conservative Christian household since I was very little. There's, pros and cons to that, I guess, in my point of view. I guess I was always taught, man and a woman, like, since the beginning, in Genesis, At first, I think, I literally still am, like, to me, obviously, me being heterosexual is normal. So, like, that's what I've always grown up to think, and so, like, it's just how it is for me. But I don't know if it's, like, technically changed, or I've just come to the conclusion that whatever, like, my friends choose, like, it's okay. Like, God's not gonna love them any less, and I should not love them any less. Like, I have come to the conclusion that as a Christian, I need to love others, whether and however they come.
And then I finally spoke with one of my close friends, Kristen, who is a talented dancer and is pursuing that as his career. And he is also part of the LGBT community.
Okay. I like men's and I like the women's.
You like the women's, okay.
It was really different. Because I would say I've always been the type of person to be like mad confident in myself regardless of what's going on. And then not only that, but around that time I was being bullied. Like I was being bullied for being gay, and I didn't even know that I liked boys yet. And this was like in elementary school on up to like.
So like did people just assume you were gay?
Assumed like out the ass, like they just assumed that I was gay. And when I realized that, my mental state was like really confusing. I was like, damn, well, how am I gonna live my life knowing that I like both and it's not accepted at all? Not the social norm to even be gay. So how is that gonna work with me being bisexual? Being black and being a part of the LGBT community, it's even worse. Because sometimes our own people don't even accept us. Dancers are the cheerleaders of the LGBT community. They want us to be ourselves. They don't care who we are. Like, they just want us to be us. They don't care.
North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory is facing criticism from a growing number of politicians.
It was very recent that North Carolina passed the anti-LGBT law known as HB2 that caused some protests and even business demanding the state to repeal it. So of course, I had to ask everyone how they felt about it.
I think that it's bullshit.
I agree with her on that. I think it's just ridiculous that they had to add where they can reject gays and lesbians from being employed. Because
HB2 is really, it's just utter fuckery. Like, it's too much. It's too much.
Restaurants have the ability to like refuse service to you is completely and utter crap.
Getting married everywhere was passed. And then they passed this law. And it's just like, then what do you want us to do then? Because, like, what exactly are you trying to stop here? People from being happy?
Without a doubt, the LGBT community has made tremendous progress in these last few years, but there is still a long way to go for full equality. The progress that has been made is pretty evident. There was even recognition of the LGBT community at this year's Super Bowl, which many people were surprised by and others were outraged. Because of this, my last question for everyone was if they believe that one day the LGBT community will be seen as a social norm.
I don't think that the LGBT community will be a social norm, because look at where people have come race-wise. Like, yes, as a whole, people, as a nation, we are not racist, but there are still so many people day to day that you come across that still view non-white people as less than. Even if the whole country as a whole accepts gay people or transgender people or, you know, anyone on that spectrum, there will always be those people that will discriminate against us or will hate us for no reason.
So normal is not a thing. Normal doesn't exist. You can't pinpoint somebody and say they're normal, because normal is something that's generated by society as a whole. And everyone, every single person on this planet is normal. They're alive, they exist. They're normal. That's how I see normal as. And so society standards of normative, our Americanized society, American westernized society is based on heteronormative Christian, I'm not going to say Christian, I'm going to say heteronormative, WASPy, white Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, that's what that stands for. And so simply based off of that, no, because it goes against everything that society is based off of. As a whole, we go against everything, the entire heteronormative standard of our society, so no, it will never be a normal thing.
Dude, it's normal. It doesn't look as normal. What's normal?
Right.
Whatever is normal on the surface is fucked up underneath. Right. That's just my opinion. Because no one really knows.
Right.
Whatever seems normal in a normal household is probably, it's got flaws in it just as anything else. And that's like asking like race, you know, and I think no. I think it's really hard for some people to change their minds. And for some people to just move out of their selfish, egotistical ways, and they don't want to see that. They're ignorant.
It's just not normal. It's not natural. It's not a natural thing. What makes you say that? Who are you to tell me what's normal in my life? I feel like even if the answer is no, we'll still be just as fine. I feel like the people in the LGBT community will be fine if they're not accepted as a social norm. Normal is your perspective. It's all about your perspective in your life. In your life. I'm gonna say that again. In your life, what normal is what you think it is. You shouldn't follow what society thinks. You shouldn't follow what your family thinks. You should follow your own thoughts. Your family isn't always right.
I am also part of the LGBT community, and it really hit me after speaking with these people and making this video that our love for other human beings is not seen as a norm. Times are changing, yes, but I honestly don't know if it will ever be a norm. But what I do know is that no one should be excluded from the American dream just because of who they are and for who they love. Love can only be defined by one word, and that is love.
I'm going to use this word belief. I believe in LGBT community. I believe in LGBTQ youth. I believe in marriage equality. I believe in equality. I believe in love. Because after all, isn't that what this is about? That's what it's about. It's flippin' simple.